You know the feeling. You are having a perfectly fine day, someone makes one minor passing comment, and suddenly you are fuming until bedtime. We usually describe this by saying, "They really know how to push my buttons." We talk as if we are helpless remote controls, and other people have magical powers over our internal state. Over the next 6 minutes, we are going to build a physical, personal trigger map and go through the protocol required to permanently disconnect those buttons. To do this, you need a pen and paper. While you grab that, mentally recall one recent, frustrating interaction you had with a difficult person, because nobody can push buttons you do not give them. Once you drop the illusion that others control how you feel, you stop being a remote control and become the sole operator of your own emotional state. Draw 3 columns on your paper. Label the first, the trigger, the second, the pattern, and the third, the real issue. Look at that frustrating event you just recalled. In the first column, write down the exact action or words that set you off. Look at the person who did this as an emotional trainer, not an obstacle. They are showing you exactly where you still need healing. In the second column, identify who or what this trigger reminds you of from your past. Maybe it echoes a critical parent or a past rejection. For example, if you write "boss's sharp tone" in the first column, the second column might identify a deeper root, like an impatient ex-boss who never trusted my judgment. Mapping these historical patterns makes a seemingly random emotional explosion predictable. It turns a sudden burst of anger into a known quantity that you can prepare for. Now that you have identified the source, you need to understand the biological clock that starts when you are triggered. The stress chemicals that create the physical sensation of anger naturally flush out from your system in exactly 90 seconds. Between the trigger and your response, there is a microsecond called the choice point. This is where you decide to either let those chemicals flush naturally or feed the fire. Viktor Frankl discovered the space between stimulus and response while surviving in a Nazi concentration camp. He realized that no matter what happens, you always have the freedom to choose your response. As the 90-second timer runs, your body begins to clear those stress hormones. If you simply wait, the physical flood will finish its cycle and leave your system. But usually, we replay the story or rehearse a comeback. This is like having a smoke alarm go off because you burn toast, and instead of opening a window, you keep making more toast. You biologically force the reaction to start all over again. Surviving this initial 90-second window without adding a mental narrative is what prevents your body from restarting the stress cycle. While those chemicals are flushing, you can activate the observer self. This is the part of you that watches emotions pass by like weather patterns, instead of being swept away by the storm. When you observe the anger, you will notice it is rarely the primary emotion. It acts as a security guard, volunteering to show up and protect more vulnerable feelings like hurt, fear, or shame. Look back at your paper. In the third column, write down the real issue. Identify the vulnerable emotion hiding underneath your protective layer of anger. Lashing out with "you never remember anything" is the security guard speaking, but saying "I felt forgotten" is the vulnerable truth. When you address the vulnerable hurt instead of attacking with protective anger, you shift the focus toward the actual problem. This reduces the incentive for the other person to remain on the defensive. With the chemicals cleared and the true emotion identified, you can move into the action phase and choose a measured response. Sometimes the most effective response is a strategic retreat. This is not running away. It is a deliberate choice to give your nervous system time to reset so your prefrontal cortex can come back online. You can use this exact script. "I'm not in the right headspace right now. Can we talk about this after dinner?" You are honoring the topic while protecting your emotional capacity. You also need healthy boundaries. Think of boundaries as gates, where you are the gatekeeper, rather than rigid walls meant to keep everyone out. Another script you can use is, "I understand you're frustrated, but I don't respond well to yelling. Can we talk when you're calmer?" This script is assertive without being aggressive. Using these scripts preserves your ability to actually be helpful in your relationships, as you are no longer burning out from the stress of constant drama. Now, review your completed piece of paper. You have turned a messy, overwhelming emotional reaction into a mapped-out protocol. Here is your 1-week challenge. keep this map accessible. The very next time you feel triggered, commit to starting the 90-second clock before you respond. This protocol is not a fixed personality trait, it's a skill. Each time you choose a new response, you're rewiring your brain's automatic reactions. The person who never gets bothered is someone who practiced these steps until they became automatic. Subscribe and tell us in the comments which trigger you mapped out first.